everybody, and welcome back to another Kerbal Space Program video. Today we are doing a Delta II rocket by the United Launch Alliance. So this rocket has a singular engine on its bottom stage and 8 stages. Said was a rocket by United Launch Alliance. It was like the tealest of all rockets, so it was very teal. So there was the solid rocket boosters are Gen 46 solid rocket boosters. There was a second stage, there was a third stage. Its peak vacuum thrust was 14,000 pounds, so there was a 155 missions flown. Our first mission was on February 1989. The height is about 139 meters, and its mass at liftoff is 231,000 kilograms. Its lift capability at low Earth orbit is 6,100 kilograms, and its thrust is 4,822 kilonewtons. So, you have your first stage, that you have your solid rocket boosters and one engine. And then you have your second stage, which actually on this rocket, the second stage is a very small stage. Here we have booster flameout and our separation of our solid rocket boosters. There they go, they're going to crash back down into Earth. At this point, normally you would start your gravity turn. You would start your gravity turn way earlier. So, here I am starting my gravity turn, and as you can see, my apoapsis, if you look up in the corner, is just rising above 51,000 feet. I want to get that above 70,000. So the Delta II could have flown with 3 solid rocket boosters or 8 solid rocket boosters, and it had its payload fairings were 3 meters in diameter. And it also had some metallic fairings, composite fairings. Its main engine was the RS-27A, and its total vacuum thrust was 145,000 pounds per square foot, and its length was 150 inches for the solid rocket motors. Second stage was nominal thrust was actually 9,752 pounds of thrust, and its impulse, which is kind of miles per gallon efficiency, was 320.5 seconds. So here we have had booster separation, and here you can see my very off-center satellite, kind of trigger alert, off-center satellite alert. So you can see our upper stage is actually a very tiny upper stage, but that engine is super efficient. And we are trying to make this burn so it will get us close to an orbit as possible. Time warping. And here in just a second, there should be a second stage cutoff, or SECO. When SECO happens, we will have to do a kick burn at our apoapsis to circularize. And there we go. Actually, I may not have circularized in this 1, this particular flight, but actually I'm time warping. So right now the most efficient way to do a circularization burn is to get to our apoapsis height, which is our highest point, which means it will not keep ascending our highest point when we do a burn to make our lowest point equal with our highest point. So we have about 7 minutes until apoapsis, 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute, and here in just a second, we have about 50 seconds left, and our burn in 23. So our highest point is about 517 meters. So we have 20 seconds, and here we go. I have 548 meters per second at delta V left. So works, but not the most optimal conditions. And 4, 3, 2, 1, and then we are starting our circularization burn. So here you can watch my periapsis, which is our lowest point, and then my periapsis will start to switch with my apoapsis, which means if you get that about halfway, it means you are in a circular orbit. Right there, that is a pretty good orbit, 517 by 530. I still have about 230 meters per second left of delta V to deorbit my second stage. And payload separation. It's a good payload separation. And now we are going to flip around retrograde and deorbit this booster. This, normally you would deorbit the boosters, and here I will actually show the whole re-entry process and landing. So right now, I'm basically slowing myself down to a speed where I will crash into the Earth's atmosphere. There we have flame out, we don't have any more fuel, and here we go. About to hit the Earth's atmosphere. And now, our lowest point is about 30,000 meters, but that is slowly going down as the rocket, it's slowly going down as the rocket will actually slow way down because of the atmosphere, which will actually lower our highest point into the Earth, which means this is actually, we're doing several aero brakes, trying to get ourselves out. The thing is, here normally you could actually just let it, if you lost control, you could actually just let it go around in circles, which is what happened with the latest Long March 5, which launched the first module of China's space station. There's enough atmosphere up where the International Space Station is and where most space station is to slow it down enough so that it will actually intersect with the Earth and fall back down eventually. But the safest way is to have a controlled reentry, which means you plan which spot it's going to land in, and that's what you do, because there's a certain spot in the ocean, it is about, I think it's 50 miles away from, or 500 to 50 miles away from everything around it. So, there's so there's basically just, you want to drop your boosters there so it's safe and no humans will be contaminated, because these boosters actually cause, here we have actual footage of a Delta IV Heavy taking off, so very teal rocket, or sorry, not Delta IV Heavy, I just did a video about it, Delta II, yeah, so So we have an epic compilation of the rocket taking off. It had some very good launches, and thank you guys for watching. See you next week.